Hello and welcome into another edition of Siena Saints Weekly. I'm your host, Andrew Champagne. In just a moment, we'll be joined by swimming and diving tri-captain Brittany Pavolko, but first let's take a look at the week that was in Siena athletics. Men's basketball was down 15 in the second half to Vermont Saturday night at the Times Union Center, but stubbornly rallied behind MAC preseason player of the year Ryan Rossiter. Unfortunately, the Saints fell short 80-76, snapping their 38-game home winning streak. Rossiter finished with 27 points and 10 rebounds in the losing effort. Siena travels to Minnesota Monday night and stays on the road Saturday to face Northeastern. Women's basketball also opened their season last week. The Saints fell to Navy 57-43 despite a 14.8 rebound performance from Serena Moore. Maya Gerling chipped in with 12 points, and the Saints will look to right the ship Monday night at home against Colgate. They'll also play at home Saturday against Wagner. Women's soccer's historic 2010 season came to an end this past week. The Saints fell 5-1 to Georgetown in the first round of their first ever NCAA tournament. Siena won 17 games this season, including their first ever MAC tournament championship. Congratulations to them. Men's soccer also saw their season end last week, falling to Iona 2-1 in the semifinals of the MAC tournament. Freshman Matt Hemsley scored Siena's lone goal, and he and senior Joey Tavernisi were named to the all-tournament team. The Saints went 10-8-1 in 2010, their first 10-win season since 1998. Volleyball is heading into the MAC tournament on a hot streak. They swept 2 home matches against Iona and Marist this past weekend and pushed their overall winning streak to 3 in the process. They'll travel to Florida for their conference championships this week. They face St. Peter's in the first round. And the swimming and diving team is currently in a month-long break after their 4-2 start to the 2010-2011 season. Joining me now is senior tri-captain Brittany Pavolko. Brittany, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Talk a little bit about your start to the season. The team's been achieving a lot lately, but ran into some buzzsaws early in the season.
Well, UNH and UVM are 2 really good teams. Our performance against UVM was a great performance with great times. We definitely needed to end well before going into the month break. Our meet against Duquesne and Canisius was a really good meet to go to and to see because we rallied back and was able to beat Duquesne, which is in a higher conference, a more competitive conference. So that was a great meet, and we ended on a high.
The team is being coached by Paul Kuderman this season. He's in his first season at Siena. You were recruited by former coach Greg Brown. What are some of the differences between them?
I would say that Paul, we call him PK, is a more he's a quieter, but he's a very supportive coach. He creates constructive practices. We know what we're doing before we even get in the pool that day, which is great to come into when it comes to practicing. We also have Sean, who's the new diving coach that coaches Liz, and they're a great balance with Sean being the main cheer on the deck when we're swimming, and PK like getting times and making sure we're where we're supposed to be and doing what we're supposed to do.
Seeing Sean in action at some of those meets is a real trip. He's louder than some of the girls are.
Oh, definitely.
What's been your personal high point of the season so far?
I don't know if I have my own personal high point. I would say that the team's high point was the Duquesne meet. It was a great meet to go to when it came down to the last relay, and the 4 girls on the last relay were able to pull out a win. So.
I know in your second meet of the year against Vermont at the Siena Swim Center, you teamed up to break a pool record in the last event of the meet. How did that feel? It
felt really great. We knew that we were pretty sure going into it that it was either our team or UVM that was going to get that 400 free record, and we wanted it more, so we ended up pulling it out.
Good for you. Now you're off for another few weeks, as you mentioned. You don't return again until December 4th against CW Post. How tough is it to stay focused during the break?
Swimming's always can be long sometimes with the amount of just getting in the pool 2 times a day and swimming just straight. But PK does a really nice job of breaking up practices with giving us different things on different days, and making it fun. For example, we had like a relay practice this past Saturday. So doing stuff like that where you break up practice and it's not constant yardage keeps people on task and motivates them to look forward to that meet.
Also keeps the team loose a little bit, which I'm sure is also a good thing. What are some of the goals you have for both yourself and the team going forward?
The team is really looking mostly towards max. Dual meets are what we look towards to establish good times and see where we are on a weekly, monthly basis. We're looking to finish higher than we did last year. We finished third last year in the MAC conference, which was our highest seeding, or our highest finish in the MAC, and hopefully we'll pull out a first or second too.
Okay, you've done great so far, but here's the real test, the lightning round. Favorite movie?
The Guardian.
Why The Guardian?
I don't know. I like Ashton Kutcher, and I like the action that's in there. So.
Your favorite TV show?
Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds. It's been on for a few years.
Yeah, I have all the seasons, so.
Hardcore fan.
Yeah.
Your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. For other people, probably laziness, to be honest with you. I like when people do what they're supposed to do.
Hey, responsibility is never a bad thing. Who is the funniest player on the swimming and diving team? The funniest athlete, I should say.
The funniest athlete. Many of us find Bethany Freed pretty funny. She's entertaining if you talk to her and hear her stories.
What's been the funniest thing she's done to try to keep the team loose?
Bethany. Bethany has a cheerleading routine, which is really interesting that she does. She's not usually into pump up speeches, and she usually just she gets a little nervous when pump up speeches happen. But she does do a cheerleading routine that's definitely fun to watch and makes the team laugh.
I bet. Your favorite pre-meet superstition?
Pre-meet superstition. Well, now as a team, we have Molly Chamberlain, the other captain. Talk to us and pump us up before, and she takes lyrics out of songs and yells them out, and it really pumps everyone up, and it's what we've come to use as a tradition.
I'm surprised it's not your pre-meet entrance during home meets at the Siena Swim Center. Guys, if you haven't seen it, it's a real treat.
Yeah, that's new. We're gonna mix it up too. We're gonna mix that up, but that's new to this season, and it's motivated us more when it comes to swimming. And we needed a new cheer and a new thing to walk out to, so it worked out really well.
I've seen it. It's a lot of fun. Now, finally, last question: if you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Oh my gosh, dead or alive? I would say Michael Phelps, Eleanor Roosevelt, and
See, these are tough questions.
yeah, it is. President Obama.
Quite the eclectic mix there, Michael
Yeah, it would
Phelps.
be. Throw him in there with a politician.
And the wife of a famous politician. Definitely buy seat at that one. Well, that's going to do it for another edition of Siena Saints Weekly. I'd like to thank Brittany Pavolko from Swimming and Diving for stopping by. I'm Andrew Champagne, and I'll see you next week.